Hey everybody, I'm Daniel, and this is
Mike, and this is Maggie.
And we're here for Weekly Geek Speak. This is where we're going to talk about topics that we find interesting in geek culture, from wrestling to comic book TV shows, movies, and hopefully you guys will find some interesting things in here. And let's take it away with our first topic for our introductory episode. Oh, you just licking my arm. What are your feelings going into Wrestlemania?
Tell you the God's honest truth, I could take it or leave it right now. Just at the lineup of matches that I've heard, nothing really catches my eye. The only one that I maybe pay attention to is the Shane versus Undertaker match, only because, given their history, Shane and the Undertaker have been known to put on very enjoyable and watchable matches. Other than that, I couldn't tell you. The only other match that I know of is Roman Reigns versus Triple H, and to tell you the God's honest truth, it doesn't hold its appeal to me. I could take it or leave it, and they're doing it the same night as the Walking the Dead season finale. So I think it's going to be a tough sell to get people to stay with Mania this year.
Yeah, even Maggie seems not to care too much.
Yeah, Maggie doesn't really care.
See, my thing is, I think the only match of note is going to be Shane and Undertaker, but that's mostly because of the fact that it seems like this, especially after Monday Night Raw, Vince saying if Taker loses, he's never wrestling again.
Yeah.
So this is probably his final match. So
what they should have done, only because for the amount of time he's been with the company, for not wanting to jump ship when everybody else jumped ship to go to WCW, I would have said, let him beat Lesnar at Mania. What was it, last year?
2 years ago.
2 years ago, let him beat Lesnar at Mania. Go out on a high note. Let him go out with the streak intact, because he's never going to get they're not going to give him the championship again. Let him go out with that streak intact, call it a career, put him into the Hall of Fame, and there you have it.
Yeah, he's already a Hall of Famer without even being inducted into the Hall of Fame. So if this is how Taker goes out, I think him versus Shane, it's going to be an interesting match, but it's not the match that I would have envisioned him going out on. I feel like him passing the torch to somebody else would have been a better way for it to go out on. But it's Hell in a Cell, so we know that's going to be the most interesting match. The fans already don't care about Roman Reigns, so Reigns has no appeal whatsoever to the crowd because they forced him down our throats. And it's the main reason why nobody likes John Cena, really, because he's been forced down our throats. I'm actually a Cena fan.
I like Cena. I like Reigns. One of the big drawbacks for me with Reigns is they're not using him in the right way. And what I mean is, why they're not using him in the right way, he wins it on a Sunday on a pay-per-view, and then they take it away from him Monday night on Raw. He has a hell of a match with Lesnar, and just when the match was getting good, Seth Rollins comes in and just, in my opinion, screws up the match.
It's an overuse.
It's an overuse. It is.
They really did try to cram Roman Reigns down everyone's throat, and that's the reason why nobody likes him. Dean Ambrose is the guy that they should have been giving the push to, so his match against Lesnar at Mania should be a good match because it is a street fight. It's not even a match at this point. But no one even cares about any other matches. They haven't really announced anything. The tag team titles, they haven't even said if it's on the line or not. It's just New Day versus the League of Nations.
Yeah, and I think the New Day gimmick has run its course. It's not like when you had the affiliations like you had before, when you had the Heenan family, and you had Legion of Doom, and you had Demolition, and you had tag teams that
meant something.
And, it wasn't just three idiots, one of them playing a trombone.
But you've got to admit their gimmick is the most entertaining gimmick right now.
Yeah.
Their heels where they're being a babyface,
They're being
heels.
babyface heels, yes. It's I don't know.
It's weird, but it works somehow.
Eh.
And you know what? The Bootio cereal box makes me laugh.
It's funny, but personally, enough. Move on. Next.
Yeah. Okay, so our next topic, we're going to talk about the Ghostbusters trailer that came out not too long ago. We haven't said anything about it. We really haven't discussed it. So let's get your opinion on it first, and then I'll say what I thought of it.
Okay. Just watching the trailer itself seems like an interesting movie. Having said that, I have no problem with it being an all-female cast. I have no problem with the updates of the proton packs and stuff. My problem is that it seems like they're totally ignoring the first two films, which, in my opinion, is a mistake. Because you can't erase or forget the first two movies, especially the first movie, because it's what set everything off. You know, you wouldn't have Ghostbusters now without Harold Ramis, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and Ernie Hudson. You wouldn't have it. You know? I would have no problem if they said, you know, we were in a different city, Chicago, LA, someplace like that. But to put them in New York as if they're the first Ghostbusters, I have a problem with.
I'm going to agree with you on certain parts because I don't care that it's a female cast.
Yeah,
the majority of that cast I find to actually be funny on their own. I don't like the treatment of how it's going, though, because that trailer was not funny.
No.
The jokes in the trailer were stale, and for me sitting there watching the U.S. trailer release, I was in shock that I'm like, I'm not finding any of this funny. And the most that I find completely absurd is you start off the trailer where you're going to talk about the Ghostbusters, the original, that 30 years ago, 4 friends saved New York, or 4 scientists, depending on international or...
Yeah.
It didn't matter. You've now basically just thrown that out the window, but yet you throw Slimer in there. You've got the Twinkie reference in there, so you gave us some goodies for us classic fans, but then I don't even know who these actresses are playing. I don't know their character names, but I knew Peter Venkman, I knew Raymond Stantz, I knew Egon Spengler, I knew Winston Zedmore, but I don't know who these girls are playing. So it's more, oh, look, it's Melissa McCarthy.
Right.
I know who she is, but I know her name, not her character's name. And it's not giving me that feel of, hey, maybe this is just the trailer, but my opinion is that I'm going to see the movie, but I'm holding back any true judgment because the trailer was not a good trailer.
It wasn't a good trailer. Again, I'll probably see it.
Let's be honest, you're going to see it.
I'm going to see it. I have again, no problem making it an all-female cast. Pay your dues. Give credit what credit is due. You're going to say it takes place in New York, fine. Make reference to the original Ghostbusters other than the little 10-second promo they did in the trailer.
Yeah. The biggest insult I felt was Winston was our everyman in the original.
Yeah.
So Ernie Hudson came in and you connected with Winston because he was the public. He wasn't the guy that it's like, oh, I know all about this stuff. He learned as he went.
And in the original treatment of the script, he came in much earlier, and he had much more of a backstory where he was in the military. He was a Marine. You know,
but the thing is, we didn't need all of that,
no,
and it worked out very well for what it was.
Yeah, I'm just saying he had more of a backstory.
I just feel now we're playing a racial stereotype game because look, we've got the black woman who she's gonna slap somebody for Jesus to get the ghost out.
We have the angry black woman.
It's
the token black woman,
and that's the thing. Ernie Hudson was awesome, and he was a character that you connected with. You resonated with Winston. And now I don't resonate with this character. It seems kind of cheap.
With the exception of Melissa McCarthy, Kristen Wiig.
Yeah.
Those are the only two names that I know. I recognize the other blonde woman from SNL, but other than that...
Which I think she actually stole the trailer. Like, those little moments, but them trying to make it sexual of her, like, licking the proton guns.
No. And
it looked
proton
cool.
Guns.
I will say, her hair looked like Egon's from the cartoon.
Got that flock of seagull flip going.
Which, that I thought was a nice little throwback. Which, I don't know how many people would get that, but it was something they also followed up in the comic books. So,
right. Next.
All right, let's talk about the direction that Flash is going in. Now,
Okay.
You didn't see this recent Flash?
I saw the first 20 minutes of it.
Okay.
I saw if you haven't seen it, spoiler. Saw the part where the other scientist takes the Velocity 9, gets hooked on it, has kind of a
split personality.
And I went, oh, interesting, gotta go. And not because I don't like it, because I really had a hockey game to get to that night.
Yeah. Well, I like the direction because now they actually allude to, and it's going to be spoilers for you now because you didn't see the rest of the episode, but they realize that she's taking the Velocity 9, and right before trajectory, as she's calling herself, and goes to her untimely demise, her lightning starts changing from yellow to blue. So they come to the realization that, hey, Zoom's lightning is blue. Jay created Velocity 9, so if he was addicted to it and it was killing him, maybe Jay, so they've come to the realization, and Cisco was having his flashes of Zoom, and he has his vibe of Zoom taking off the mask and seeing Jay's face. So they've now come to the conclusion that Jay is Zoom. But there's a part of me that for some reason doesn't think that that's actually true, because I'm still kind of on the fence because they've showed us who Zoom is in the comics.
Which is...
Zolomon.
Yeah, and if you saw the episode where they were trying to find
Jay's
doppelganger on Earth 1.
Yeah, and he showed us Hunter Zolomon.
And he said, no one, I couldn't find him here, his name is Hunter Zolomon.
Which I have a feeling that it's like he switched like what he looks like, and that's why the man in the mask is actually Jay Garrick, and Hunter Zolomon is the one running around as Zoom, pretending to be Jay Garrick.
Kind of like what they did in the comic book with the original Reverse Flash, changing his appearance to look like
Barry Allen. So I could see that being a nice twist, and that's my prediction. I love where the Berlanti universe is going with this, so can't really say where it's going, but just as a fan, that's where I'm kind of seeing things going.
Very cool.
But it just felt a little cheap because they didn't give us, because we know he's going to be crossing over to Supergirl, so we're not seeing that jump just yet.
Right.
And so hopefully Supergirl will show how he gets there.
Right.
But now we're going to change up our topic one more time. This will be our last topic for this episode, and we're going to talk about the Civil War trailer. Okay. Now, this is not the first Civil War trailer we've had.
Nope.
But it's definitely the biggest bang for our buck so far.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that I love this trailer, and it was so beautifully done.
It was a great trailer. It sets up... it basically sets the cast. It sets the cast. It lets you know, okay, these are the players. This is on hold. This is. Try this again. Take two. This is who is on this side, and this is who is on this side. I like the fact that Tony Stark calls Spider-Man Underoos.
Yeah, his rallying cry to get him as Underoos.
That was.
So it's nice to know that
was very Tony Stark.
And it's nice to know the Underoos exist in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yes. Going by what I know of the comics, I want to see where this is going. I want to say I have high expectations for the film, but going by Marvel's previous films, I'm not going to say they're high. I'm going to say they should keep par with their other films. Because, again, if you look at it, all of their films, even their standalone films, were not standalone. It always led into the next bigger project. So, I know it's going to end on a cliffhanger. Whether that cliffhanger will be Steve Rogers getting shot at the end, like happened in the comic book, and either Sam Wilson or Bucky Barnes taking the shield for a while, it's unknown. Me personally, I would not mind seeing Steve Rogers taking a bullet, only because, as a fan of the comic book, I would be like, okay, this is keeping true to the comic. Unless they can do it in such a way where the comic fans would say, okay, you know what? You did it in a tasteful way. You did it in a way that made sense.
I'm going to agree because it's definitely something that's a turn that we're kind of expecting, even though that this isn't the same reason for the Civil War that happened in the comics, so there are some nice alterations. And from what we're getting for the story, that it's a decent change, so it's not going to be too convoluted, it's not overlapping too much, but we're getting a good feel for everything. I'm just more interested in seeing the actual battle of where it's going to go.
And I hope that battle is not going to be like a little 10-second boom, boom, boom. Oh, there's a bigger explosion or there's a bigger emergency here. We all have to go save them type deal. I want this to be drawn out. I want to see a fight.
And that's what we should be getting, because I don't think... This doesn't seem like there's going to be a different villain, but this is more Iron Man versus Captain America's side. The only thing is they do have Crossbones in there, and Crossbones as a villain, it's a strong possibility that we may get that. I don't think they're going to unify again by the end, but I can see, like, with Crossbones kind of making things a little more difficult in the long run. I just don't want the story to get too bogged down with too many plot lines.
I think with the introduction of Crossbones in it, since he is like a mercenary character, I could see them, he could just be there while the whole Tony Stark, Captain America feud is going on. I could see Crossbones coming in just to twist the knife a little bit and stir the pot. And
I kind of get the feeling he's going to come in to be more the reason why
they
T'Challa is there.
Yeah.
And it's more, he's the reason why, where they're blaming Bucky, but it's Crossbones is the reason why T'Challa thinks that it's Bucky, though.
Right.
So, that's pretty much our analysis of what we were hoping to see, and we've got a lot of high hopes for this.
We do.
So, with that being said, I'm Daniel. You can find more stuff from me at the Fire in the Hell 03 channel on YouTube. And Mike?
I got the Hamster Pellet Productions and Maggie.
We'll have links listed down in the description below. If you like this video, please hit that like button and share it with your friends, so this way more people can find out about us. And we'll have another episode coming up very soon. So, from us here at Weekly Geek Speak,
see you later.
take care, everybody.